Hello again, Dan Alasso, Making History. It is day 42 of my retrenchment journey, and a couple of things popped up yesterday. Yesterday I received a broadcast email about a new set of meetings that will be hosted by the Center for Professional Development at Bemidji State. They're called Faculty TBD, and they will be something that runs on the third Monday of each month at an off-site building in downtown Bemidji that I always wondered whether we use it, and if so, for what. The topics that they will be covering will be, first, fostering belonging in the campus community in September, and then next, student engagement and advising in October, and then finally, discussions of race and marginalized groups in the classroom in November. The email brochure says that these are specified topics which will be discussed in a specified format. Maybe I'm feeling a little bit cynical, but that sounds to me a little bit like message control. The TBD part of the faculty TBD title does in fact stand for to be determined. And they give a long description and explanation of this, and they say it's because the format and the topic will always be changing. Ironically, it could also, of course, signal that the faculty itself is to be determined, as well as programs and majors as the retrenchment plays out. Now, all this seems to me as if there's a sort of deliberate feeling of, let's not look at that. Perhaps the motivation for that is similar to what prevents some people from rubbernecking when they pass a gruesome accident on the road, which is something that I would appreciate. But it does also seem a little bit to me like rearranging the deck chairs. Do we really need to be talking about fostering belonging right now in a campus community where 27 people are being ejected from the community? Do we need to be talking about student engagement when we're not actually leveling with students and telling them what's going on? Do we need to be chatting about how to improve our discussions of race and marginalization when we're retrenching, eliminating most of the diverse faculty? Maybe the idea is that once only the old white guys are left, there will be more need to teach people how to talk about race and marginalization. And I guess the thing that concerns me is that if this is just the same old messaging and doesn't deal with BSU's slow motion collision with the iceberg, then it's going to be part of the problem rather than part of the solution. In other news, there was another thing that happened the last couple of days. My son received a collection letter from the BSU business office a couple days ago, and it announced that he still owed about $450 to BSU, and it described all of the huge troubles that he would encounter when they sent him to collection. Literally, it contained a list of about a dozen bad things that could happen, beginning with a 25% surcharge on the $450 outstanding debt. The problem with all this is that my son was a PSEO student. That's the post-secondary enrollment option for the past 2 years at BSU. That means he was a high school student attending college classes. All the costs of that were supposedly covered by the state. Now, if that changed, we were not notified of the fact. We can't really tell what charges went into this outstanding debt because the list of them in the letter used terms that were probably meaningful inside BSU's accounting department, but that made no sense to us at all. So I can't really 100% say that there's no way we owe BSU money, but we have no idea why. And it's also a little bit problematic that all of this communication is being sent to Gio, who was a minor and a high school student at the time, when it was his mother who was managing his PSEO high school engagement with Bemidji State. And obviously his mother and I are the people who will ultimately be paying for any charges that accrue. And this collection letter is the first that we're hearing about any of this. It seems to me that for an institution that is desperate to increase enrollment and retention and student success, this communication was a mistake. The extremely aggressive tone of the letter makes it clear that BSU regards my son as some kind of deadbeat. It was literally offensive. I sent an email to the business office, and the person who sent the letter immediately apologized. But then her supervisor contacted me and asked me to have my son call her. He's away at college, at a different university in the system. I asked if she could email him, and she agreed. So I provided his new email. He's at a different school now, so if they were trying to get in touch with him on his BSU email account, that could have been a problem. I don't know for sure whether we owe BSU money at all. What I do know is the way they have addressed this issue couldn't have been better designed to drive customers away from the university. And I suppose if I were still engaged, that I would bring this issue up to the enrollment and management people and encourage them to think about ways to redesign this program. It is important that BSU collect money from people that owe it money, but this is insane. But of course, I'm not still engaged because I've been retrenched, so I'm telling you instead, I guess. So in any case, that's what happened to me in the last day or so. I hope you found some of this a little bit interesting. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you again tomorrow.